The Blizzard Studio action role-playing game is scheduled to debut next year. In this video, we will discuss new tips we learned from the recent Diablo 4 show. Before we start the video, make sure you subscribe the channel and please like the video to support me. Waiting for the Diablo 4 title has been difficult, but it seems like it won't be long until the game is released. During the recent Bethesda and Xbox conferences, Blizzard Studios announced that the game is set to be released for 8th and 9th generation consoles and PC platforms at an undisclosed date from 2023. However, the beta version of the game will be coming soon. Thanks to the recent conference, now we know a lot about Diablo 4. In this video, I will try to share with you a summary of the published information about the expected work. In addition to the fact that the Diablo 4 game is scheduled to be released in 2023, the introduction of the Necromancer class was probably the most important point we learned from the recent show. This is despite the fact that 4 classes of Druid, Rogue and Barbarian have been unveiled alongside Sorceress. New features have been added to the Necromancer class, that we'll look at below. The Necromancer class will have many weapons, such as daggers, swords, magic wands and shields, but sickle is its main weapon. In fact, sickle is a weapon unique to this class. Necromancer skills are divided into 4 groups. Bone, which represents attacks and physical abilities. Darkness, used to call shadow magic and weaken enemies in this way. Blood, which will include spells associated with hemorrhage, and ultimately a skill group called Army, will give the player the ability to revive and use the dead and play a key role in the gameplay of the Necromancer class. The Necromancer class will give the player a lot of control and authority around which type of Army of the Dead he intends to use in battles. This is possible thanks to a feature called Book of the Dead. With this skill, the player's ability to customize the Army of the Dead increases dramatically. The feature includes these subcategories: Blood Golems, which gives you the ability to steal enemies' health tapes; Bone Golems, which can be used as tanks; Iron Golems that can be used in battles; and Reapers, which will be used by sickle fighters. Fighters, Defenders, Warriors and Bony Wizards will be other sub-searches of the Book of the Dead capability. As expected from the Diablo game, this title is supposed to provide the player with a high freedom of action for customization at the time of release. How the playable character progresses, as well as the choice of abilities, can all vary depending on the gamer's taste. Diablo's title allows the player to make changes in the different abilities of the main character depending on his style of game and play as he likes. Also, the player can easily refer from one style to another and change his tools. It is likely that the player's hand will be open to make changes from a cosmetic point of view as well. Blizzard has not yet provided details about the personalization of the game, but more news is likely to be released soon. Years earlier, one of the first topics surrounding Diablo's game was confirmed by Blizzard Entertainment: the fact that the newest version of this popular franchise is set to be an open-world title. The topic is set to be realized for the first time in the series. Thanks to the news that has been published in the last few years, as well as the images we saw in the recent game show, we can now draw with us the prospect of what open-world Diablo is supposed to look like. One of the interesting points of the game is that there is not a linear path to go, and the gamer is able to experience the game in the fictional section as he wants. Blizzard promises to see a vast, diverse world and amazing events. Blizzard recently announced that in addition to the many ancillary stages, there are more than 140 dungeons in the Diablo 4 game, and players will be able to search and adventure in them. One of the interesting activities you'll be able to do in Diablo 4 game is called strongholds. These are actually areas occupied by enemy forces. Capturing these castles and destroying its protectors, in addition to increasing XP, will also lead to a change in their structure. After clearing these castles from the presence of enemies, cities with people and NPC may be established, and new dungeons will be discovered to search. We hope to find out soon more about exactly what role the castles will play. Many activities will be performed in the world of Diablo 4, much of which relates to social relations and gameplay in the multiplayer game sector. Local events actually include stories that will be unveiled to you while surfing the game world, whether you enter these stories or not. Also, there will be big, gigantic bosses in the game, and players can deal with these creatures in a multiplayer manner. Removing world bosses requires players to work together. The multiplayer content of the Diablo 4 game is not summarized into the co-op section, and players will be able to compete with each other in the PvP section. Gamers can wait in specific areas of PvP campaigns and participate in these campaigns of their choice. Those who do very well in this section will be marked by the mark on the maps of other players, and as a result can take part in more campaigns. One of the key features of Diablo franchises since the first version so far has been the content of the final section. Blizzard promises that the recent version of Diablo will also follow the usual rule of the series. According to the manufacturer, after you finish the game, you can experience the PvP section or conquer nightmare dungeons. The opening of all the features of the Paragon board section, which allows the player to reach the highest possible level of his playable character abilities, more loot and the use of Tree of Whispers are all among the content that will await you after the game is finished. We hope Diablo 4's endgame gaming content will be compelling at the time of release. However, Blizzard promises to offer new content for the title for years to come. What the extension packages will include is unclear so far. Add-ons and decorative items will be among the game's purchasable content after its official release. How the overall outlook for the game will be is a topic that Blizzard hopes will respond to soon. Players can experience the title Diablo 4 as a co-op on PC and consoles. In addition, Blizzard has confirmed the ability to play experience in crossplay between PC and 8th and 9th generation Sony and Microsoft consoles. You can also use your storage file on one platform for another platform. The Diablo 4 game will be released in 2023 for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox X, S Series and PC.